Imperfectly Perfect Couple Show. I'm Kandy.
I'm Tank.
What's going on with you? How was your week?
It was smooth. I cannot complain. Happy New Year and all of that.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
For sure. Well, you may know, but they don't know. Going into our new year, being a home, well, I ain't gonna even say being a homeowner. Just owning a home or just having a home period, whether you renting or buying, you got to be ready. If you renting, then you may not have to be ready too much, like if certain things go wrong. But for our new year, New Year's Eve, I wasn't expecting it. She washing clothes, doing what she do. And once again, because I spoke on this in
the damn drain,
a previous episode, the drain. And then I'm thinking that I can, because I call myself being handy for candy.
2 hands.
Handy for candy. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm calling myself putting down the floor drain. Now the beauty of it, I'm not gonna complain too much. Because knock on all type of wood or whatever you may want to say, our basement is more than partially finished. And we have carpet in our basement, except for the laundry room. So
I was about to say, that's what she said.
Except for the laundry room. So it was contained. It did stop the bathroom up that's downstairs. But it didn't mess nothing up like that. It was just the inconvenience, and that wasn't the way how I wanted to spend my New Year's Eve. So I guess I could say our New Year's Eve, we're probably gonna be putting up with a whole bunch of shit.
It was mediocre in the beginning.
It was.
It was off.
It was who?
I said it was off. It's just the mood was off. You was walking around here with a plunger.
A plunger, all type of stuff you pour down your drain. This is real. This is reality. Ain't no fronting. This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Imperfectly, I was gonna say motherfucking perfect. It's for real. This is for real. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's how the part of that started off. What about yours? The food was good.
Yeah, the food was good. We found some seafood.
We did find some seafood.
For all of the people that went out there and then bought all the crab legs up.
Yeah.
And Kroger's was rationing out crab legs and all of that stuff.
Yeah, we got a secret spot.
Yep.
A secret low-key spot.
And we shouldn't tell nobody.
We ain't telling nobody because I gotta go.
Nobody wouldn't tell us nothing.
I gotta go knock on the back door. And then, it's some people. I was going to say what kind of people, but it's some people that come to the back door and they open up the slide and, what you need?
Oh, okay.
Give me 2 clusters. But yeah, so, besides that, I mean, everything was fine. My mom came over. And that was pretty much that. The kids, everybody was cool. Once I figured out, it was nothing that I can do. Hey, I just...
Once he piped down.
Yeah, calm down a little bit. And that was that. But other than that, you?
I mean, for the most part, work week was cool. It was only 3 days that I worked that week, so...
Don't brag. You told the people that last time.
So what? I can brag on that. I don't have too many off days where I can, rest a streak of days, unlike you.
Oh, okay.
So...
Your lips look pretty.
Oh, I thank you.
What is that you got on your lips?
Should I say?
Yeah, you should say, because I'm going to take a picture and send it to her.
Oh, okay.
So what is it?
It's J Nova collection.
Oh, which one is that?
This one I got for Christmas. This is the Cinnamon by J Nova collection.
You have to hold it. You have to hold it like this. You have to, yeah. And
it comes in a pretty sparkly diamond case. For those who don't know, Jackie O on Instagram, which is DC Young Fly's mother of his children. So
yeah, lips look pretty, very
Thank
luscious.
You.
I'm gonna have to test them later.
Oh my god. So Any memes that caught your attention this week?
Well, not necessarily memes, but things and people.
Memes, things, people. It's been a lot of stuff that's been going on, especially going into 2021 with this whole election thing and, you know...
turning over power.
Yeah, people storming the Capitol. Like, where they do that at?
Give me all your stuff. I want the cookies. They just, you know.
We couldn't storm no Capitol, I tell you that.
Hey, no. You know, I have my takes on that, but we're not going to go into that.
Nope.
Well, I don't want to go into that.
No.
If you want to indulge, you can.
It just be a little bit too offensive for people. It's some things people can't handle. It's just one of those things to where, you know, we are always being told no. Because of who we are and our background. And where we come from as a race and all of that stuff. But, you know, that's just too... It's just... You just know the difference. You just know the difference of what we're allowed to do and what we can't do. And what we would get, you know, killed over versus other nationalities.
We'll just say consequences.
Consequences, but we just keeping it real. I just feel like that's just keeping it real. So
you're right. But see, I look at it... I look at that... See, this is going to turn around and wind up being a topic. Because this is one of them type of conversations that can go back and forth. I just kind of look, me personally, I kind of look at it. I said I wasn't going to go into it. But me personally, just from my perspective, I kind of feel as if it's more than just certain people not necessarily being told no or whatever the case. I think it's a thing of, it's a shift. It's a major shift that's taking place. You know what I'm saying? And the scorecard could never physically be equal. Meaning, when I say equal, and when I say the scorecard, and when I say to it being equal, I'm just talking about just things as from as like opportunities, money, finance, just all that type of stuff.
Economically,
right,
systemically.
There, even though that we've 2020 has been what it's been, all of the things that we've experienced. And like we've said before, or like I've said before, there's been a lot of opportunities that has transpired out of 2020. Like I'm gonna constantly say this, just looking on down my timeline, people that I know personally, businesses, so on and so forth. Money, just different things are starting to come to the light and be available for a lot of people, for people of color. So I think that's part of the issue too, because, certain things are starting to, I can't necessarily say equal, but you have a chance to make a chance. Yeah, it's kind of, the scorecard is kind of, I got a chance too to do what I need to do. But like I said, that's a whole nother topic. And so that's pretty much that. But I never answered your question.
Yeah, back to what you have seen.
One of the things that I've seen, it was pretty much I seen this, it was on Instagram. And it pretty much says, there's no need to be perfect to inspire others. Let people be inspired by how you deal with your imperfection. You know what I'm saying? Because, we do get caught up in that whole ordeal of, wanting things to be 100% perfect. But in actuality, we know that life ain't perfect. It's not perfect. You got to deal and roll with the punches. You know what I'm saying? So, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to, hey, we all make mistakes. We all learn. None of us, well, I ain't gonna say none of us, but majority of us, there's a big majority of us that didn't necessarily have a silver spoon. You know what I'm saying? And just have everything that we want to portray that we have or had or whatever the case. So, so when I seen that, I pretty much like that. And that's what it is. What about you?
Okay, so the one that I seen is basically black people in their hair, for the most part.
In their hair? What you mean?
Like do you just let, like, some people are just open with wanting to just walk up to you and grab your hair.
Oh no, you better
Just
not touch
because,
my shit.
wait, just because they see that it's pretty, it's done, it can be braided, it could be, and you typically see that. You don't really see that like within the races. More so, it'd be like the outside races, other than, you know, black people for the most part, is what I typically see it. Because maybe it's just a cultural thing to where we just don't walk up to each other and just slap our fingers in our hair,
Well,
or other people's hair.
that's because, well, just from my dealings and, since I've been an adult and whatever the case may be and realize things, I kind of feel as if it's a thing to where we value space, boundaries.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We value that personal space. Even if you outside, you still have a perimeter. Shit, black people was giving each other 6 feet before the vid. You know what I'm saying? It was just a thing. If I'm not cool with you, I'm not about to greedy walk up in your face and, just to say hello, how you doing, buddy? We don't. That's something that we've been doing that. So I think that's what it is. But the other part, I think what leads people to that is because, we are, when you look at us, we are a versatile race. Any and everything about us is versatile, and we can make it look damn good. I can wear locks and look like, a hood guy one day, and then take the locks and do them a certain way and be casual than a motherfucker. Look like I'm, GQ fly. How do I look? So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's intriguing. So then when you
just touching on how you were saying with you as a male can be versatile, even though, you guys can wear haircuts, locks, and all of that stuff is somewhat of the same with women. Because women can kind of...
That's what I was about to go to.
Oh, okay.
No, but go ahead. You're a woman, so explain.
Women can straighten their hair, perm their hair, curl it, wear natural braids, updos, downdos. Right. It's just a vast array of different things. And I think when you step into somewhere and people see like, oh, her hair was down last week, now it's in the, it could be up in a ponytail, or just something just beautiful. And I think people get intrigued by that, and they're like,
versatile. It's the versatility.
And they just want to touch you just all of a sudden.
Yeah, being able to be versatile. You're looking at a chameleon race. We're chameleons.
But it's a lot of respect too. You should ask. That's the thing.
Oh, most definitely.
You should ask before you just go in.
I've had in the past, not none of my coworkers now. I'm at the same place, but a lot of my old coworkers, and we are very cool. And it was funny, I let one of them know one time. You just don't do that. First of all, I don't know where your damn hands been. That's the first thing. And this was way before.
The bed.
So I'm like, no. I don't know. You could have been digging in your nose, scratching your butt. I don't know what you've been. Don't touch my hair. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Don't touch me. But most definitely don't put your... No, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So once I explained to her, like, you're supposed to ask or whatever the case, and she was older, and she was really, and then the thing about it is that one of the things that I find is, and when that's done, like as far as somebody want to touch your hair or whatever the case may be, it's not necessarily done out of disrespect though. No, it's not. It's not done out of disrespect. They because like with the experience for me that I went through, she really was intrigued, you know what I'm saying? So it got to a thing to where once I seen and knew where she was coming from, I had to simmer down and like, okay, no, you cool, go ahead, you know what I'm saying? You can tell whatever the case, but to me, with locks, most people that have locks is more than just hair, is energy and all of that type of stuff, So I got to make sure you fine as far as on that aspect level, mentally and all that. I don't want all of that. You transferring nothing into me. No. So,
but you don't want the boo?
No. That's why I have, what is it? The smoky stuff.
Sage. The smoky stuff.
The smoky stuff. Yeah. Not the reefer. Man, oh man. But
Oh my god.
yeah. So you know what I'm saying. So that's one of the things that I say about that. It's not done out of disrespect, but most definitely to my counterparts that's on the other side of the field. Just ask.
Ask.
Just ask. That's all. And that's it. Um. What else? Where you want to go from here?
The topic.
Uh-oh.
At hand.
Yeah.
Are we grown yet?
Are we? You want me to explain this, or you want to?
Go ahead.
All right. Look. So, how this whole thing here? I can't see my hand.
It's invisible.
Oh, there you go.
Your hand
all
is
right.
there.
So, how that came about? Right here. I'm sitting back and I'm looking and I look at, pictures and videos and I just think back to where like when I was a little tyke, you know what I mean? I sit back and I think and I'm like dang, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the stuff a lot of the fun stuff, a lot of the good stuff, you think about barbecues, you just think about all the things that you can remember when you was a kid. You think about your aunties, your uncles, your grandmas, whoever raised you, right? And when you put that in perspective, a lot of them were like in their 20s, not even touching 30s really, doing half of the stuff our generation. When I say our generation, what would you say, from 30?
Probably 80s babies for the most part.
So majority of the 80s babies. When you put that in perspective, that generation there, like our parents, our aunties, uncles, and most definitely our grandmas and granddaddies and so on and so forth from there. But our our moms and all that type of stuff and our aunties, they were running circles around us just with the things that they were doing. Holding down barbecues, planning events, holding down households, everything. And I look at a lot of us to the point to where it's like a lot of us, and it's no, I'm not throwing shots, I'm not doing none of that. It's just me thinking about something and wondering, is this correct? When you think about it, a lot of them, rather they owned homes or left the bird's nest or whatever the case, left from their mom or left from the roof over their head that their parents provided or whatever the case. A lot of them had stuff going for them way before they were 30. And I'm not necessarily talking about careers, but I'm just talking about stepping out as adults, being responsible, being accountable. Our generation now, a lot of us 80s babies, and we ain't gonna be talking about the 90s babies, but a lot of us 80s babies, a lot of us, man, we are late. Like, just think about it. Think about like I look at like a lot of your celebrities back then. When you think about and look at a lot of the celebrities back then, when you look at a lot of the award shows, you think about your Luther Vandrosses and your Whitney Houstons and all of them back then, they were super young. But just look at how they carried themselves, their demeanor. Mm-hmm. Everything about them was just like super grown, where we're trying to go. And a lot of us is pushing close to 40 now. And we just not starting to get on that level. So my thing is it possible for us 80s babies to be the generation that never grew up? What do you think?
I think it's kind of like 50-50. Because, you do see those that have been doing a lot of the stuff, basically carrying generations from, our parents and aunties and uncles, and they're still doing a lot of the same stuff. Probably not as much. But I think it's just kind of half and half. It's not for everybody, I would say. And I think that it stems a lot deeper than what people are just visually able to see. Like, just the connections that people have with their families too.
You're right. I agree with you. Now see, when I speak, I'm not necessarily, when I ask this question, when I put that out there, I'm not necessarily just saying like that's it and that's law. No, I'm just saying if you were to gather up 100 people back then at the age of 25, like people in our people that were adults in the 80s to our generation now to when we became adults, let's compare. I believe it will be a slaughter. The way how we carry ourselves, a lot of the things that we tend to do. You know what I'm saying? Now I know that there are different dynamics that play a factor, which I'm gonna talk about, which is now. Um, I think that. Well, not I think. It's pretty much a question. I wonder, is that the reason for that? I wonder, is it because, is it because like the way how our parents treated us? And what I mean by that, what I mean by the way how our parents treated us, you know, um, of course we know that, in the 80s technology was it was kind of mediocre. It was still in the analog stages, you know what I'm saying? So you didn't have none of this high tech stuff. And even the way how information was being, you know, reported or even received, it was pretty much your basic lines of communication, which was the newspapers, the landlines, or either the television. So them was like your three main sources. So when our parents became parents, it was a shift. They were able to hear. I think they were able to hear and figure out, well, not necessarily figure out, but just hear and be aware of just certain things. Like, hey, it was a such and such around the corner, or news traveled faster. So I wonder, did that play a role? Because back then, think about it. I know all of us have heard, when I say us, our supporters. I know y'all probably can agree. I know you probably can agree as well. But I know I've heard to the point where, when you hear your aunties and uncles talk about just certain things, they talk about, when they were kids, they was able to do this, run up and down the block, play tag, run up and down the, in the backyards, do all this type of stuff. But when it kind of came around to us, it was kind of,
You were sheltered, is what you're trying to say.
Yes, you were sheltered big time. Big time.
I mean,
and that was the start. I think that was part of the start of it. That was the start of that whole thing there, because it was like, versus you going to spend the night at your friend's house, that was kind of, it was very slim to none, because, parents at that time was really put up on, hey, such and such over there fucking the shit out of them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm serious.
You had to say it like that.
Well, I'm just saying, But I wondered, how much did that play?
I mean, there was a lot of things that became untrusting, especially like when we were in the 90s, because it was like we were already kids then. We were, elementary, middle school, and there was a lot of stuff that was coming on the news that parents were shying away from, just letting their kids just go and spend the night at people's houses. I mean, people, like you said, were low-key predators in the neighborhood that you may not have known about, or people that were abusing their kids. And it was like, yeah, it was more so of a sheltered thing for some parents. And in the long run, it did kind of affect or hurt those kids that were coming up that should have had maybe a tad bit more freedom, or a tad bit loose of a string, to where it would have probably prepared our generation a little bit more for the workforce, interacting with more people, not being afraid to step out there, or, not just when you fall on your butt, you fall so hard that it's hard for you to get back up, and basically start over,
Hold on, what you mean? What you talking about?
Like when it comes to, like, say for instance, you just in a bad space, you know what I'm saying? You may lose your job, and you don't know how you're gonna get another one, and you got all of these bills, and it's like everything just starts slowly just falling apart to where you can't recuperate. You can't get out there fast enough to find another job to catch up with these bills.
How is this relating to what we're talking about? That's what I'm trying to
I'm just saying, it that's the part where it could have been a factor to where some parents could have spoiled their kids, or could have like guarded or shielded them
because they didn't have a job.
No, I'm not saying because they didn't have a job. I'm saying because it could have been a thing to where the parents had that shield over their kids for so long that they don't know how to get back up and start over because their parents were always saving them or always catching
So,
them.
so you saying the kids had the shield over?
The kids had the shield to where it was hard for them to even know how to get up and start over because everything was always handed or given to them, or they were always dug out of a situation.
That's true.
Without helping them, without teaching them, I should say. Without teaching them how to get back up or how to start over. It was like, here, you in a bind, here go the money. Don't worry about giving it back to me. Or not, not teaching the responsibility behind it. When you lose your job, get out there right away and go find another one. Or, if things aren't working out, this is the problem solving technique behind it. This is how, critical thinking.
A lot of people don't know how to critical think.
Right, this is how you use your critical thinking skills. Like, this is what you're supposed to do.
So for those people, this can apply for any and everybody. For those people who are parents, who thinking about becoming parents, or if you do become a parent, and if you're not a parent, I'm quite sure it's somebody that you inspiring. So, what could we do, or what do you think could be done to break that cycle?
You break the cycle by teaching.
But okay, so listen. So listen to this then. So for us, wait a minute, is this still the 21st century?
From what I know.
This is the 2021 century, whatever you want to call it. So where we stand right now in today's time, 2021, right? What I want to know is, I'm gonna lay it all out. So with information, so with social media platforms, with smart devices, information being shared at an all-time high with 5G, all of that. And most of us 80s babies are pretty much aware, and we've been acclimated to receiving information for all of these years through all of these devices, right? Mm-hmm. So now, whether it's somebody that you inspiring, or if you're a parent, or somebody that you're looking over, you're a parent, auntie, uncle, whatever it is, how do you break that cycle? And what I mean the cycle is knowing all of the things that we know, that we've seen, that didn't necessarily come through your traditional news, that didn't come through your traditional, I don't think none of us really have landlines. None of those sources that we said, but just by us looking at social media and using the smart devices, how can we break them cycles? Because it's stuff that we see that ain't necessarily reported hours or days later, but we already up on it. So how do you break that cycle with young kids now?
Now, a lot of the stuff bases upon, like, change. Like, even though technology is just so out there right now, you have to take a break from some of that stuff.
I get taking a break, but what I'm saying is, okay, like right now, okay, we all know, you and I, we both know that it's all type of stuff out there. Sexual predators, it's hate crimes out there, so on, all type of stuff. So how do you break the cycle of saying, well, you know what? I'll let my kid go over to so-and-so house down the street to go play. How do you saying, so how do you break that? If your parents didn't let you do it, how do you break that cycle?
You basically break that cycle by talking to people. That's the thing. Back then, there were bonds and there were relationships that were held with most of these.
That was with our grandparents.
With our grandparents and with some of our parents too. They had.
It started falling off.
It did, but I mean that's the part to where they started closing themselves off. You have to be more open and be more sociable as a parent to trust certain situations for your kids to be able to venture out and go spend a night over so-and-so house. Because how it was back then, if I didn't know your parent, you were not staying the night anywhere. If I didn't meet your parent or walked around in their household or we done sat down and had lunch or a beverage or something like that, like, you don't trust the situation. Because it's like nowadays, it's like us as parents now, we don't do that type of stuff unless we know that we have.
But we don't even trust people though.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, typically nowadays, it's more so friends that are interacting with friends, and that's how y'all kids get together and interact that way. Like, you not necessarily gonna trust Johnny 2 doors down the street, and he got a house full of kids because you don't know him, and then again, you haven't taken the time out to try to know him.
That's true.
To see if you would trust your kids to be around him, because back then, parents and neighbors looked out for each other's kids all the time. But then, this is the other thing. Neighborhoods aren't the same as how they used to be either, because people are so close off.
Man, look here. I really realized that most definitely since I became an adult, but I realized that neighborhoods are nowhere like.
You don't.
One day I ain't gonna say we stay in the suburbs, but we don't stay necessarily in the biggest city in Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Which is Detroit. We don't stay in Detroit. Now, I was shocked. Like I was like my mouth was really like down on the floor in the car when I was driving. To where when I'm driving, I didn't see not one kid playing. And even over here, it's rare to see kids outside playing, running up and down the street. You don't see that. You know what I'm saying?
But that's mainly because of technology.
I get it. So okay. So is that safe to say when you say breaking the cycle, that would be included too?
Oh yeah, breaking some of that online time, because you got. Don't get me wrong. People were gamers back then per se, and people would play their PlayStations and all of that stuff. But now it's like heavy gaming. Now it's not the same type of gaming to where kids are into that stuff. And they can stay on that stuff for hours, the whole day, if you let them.
So, okay, so let me take it back no, I agree with you. I do agree with you. I agree with you 100%. But going back just a tad bit, to the point to where could it be we're the generation that never grew up? Is it a thing to where like when do we start taking accountability for ourselves? You know what I'm saying? Like at least trying. When should like if there's nothing wrong with you mentally, physically, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like we said, it's always gonna be obstacles there. Mm-hmm. But when is it safe to say, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta start taking responsibility, start stepping out there. When should we start doing that?
Today, yesterday, 2 months ago, a year ago. For as long as you've been an adult. But the thing is, some things are generational curses to where they watch their parents do something a certain way, and therefore they're repeating the cycle.
So would you say that that's an excuse? Because me personally,
it is an excuse, especially if you say that you're mentally, physically, and you're able to get out there and do what you need to do as a person. And not necessarily saying everybody has to work a 9 to 5 or... No, we're not saying that. But we're just saying to have something to where it's generating income to where you can show your kids and pass that down to them. Like, this is another way to make money. But, what would you say? And being accountable about it as well? Because it is showing responsibility that you gotta be responsible. You can get money or make your money from other sources besides working someone's job or working a 9 to 5 per se.
Right.
So okay. I just think it's just a lot of different things. It's a lot of different factors. It's generations that have not changed, and therefore they probably will not change because they're still watching what we're doing right now.
I agree.
So I think it all stems down to change. If you don't want to change, it's nothing that's gonna get up and do it for you unless you do it for yourself. So
I agree. You know what? I do agree. Most definitely I agree on that. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing much I pretty much can say. So, the question would be, whenever you guys view this, is it possible? Is it possible that a lot of us 80 babies is the generation that never grew up? You know what I'm saying? Is it really possible? And if y'all think that is the case, just reflecting back on, your parents, aunties, uncles, and all that good stuff, what are some of the things that we can do to change that?
Yeah, I mean, and that's just not to say that, too, just to add on, we're not saying that those aunties, uncles, and grandparents all had it together either.
No, I'm just saying, when you just think about it, when you think about picnics back then, family reunions, all that type of stuff, like, think about all of the big things that were done. That was done by our auntie and uncles, and they were young. They were very young, man. A lot of people don't even know how to cook now.
That's true.
Barely.
That's because their parents didn't make them, or whoever raised them did not make them.
That's true. I understand that, but it still don't change. It still do not change that is adding to we are, or we could be, possibly the generation that never grew up.
The baby generation is what you're saying.
Hey.
The silver spoon generation.
Yeah, you know what? The generation that necessarily didn't have a silver spoon, but we got a silver spoon. Might have came from Kmart, but we had it back then.
Or Shoppers World.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. All right, y'all. We'll be right back.
All right.
I'm in the back on bottle, RL on, and that got me a model. She know red bone skin like Coco. A gang full of pretty things begging low so. Your girl cold, man, she saying you a bozo. She said you hack her social on the low. I never give my 2 cents, that's a no-no. Plus I ain't finna be another nigga promo. So tell the way to bring a bottle what a do say. And tell your shorty be a lady, not a groupie. And we gon' have it going up like a Tuesday. So gon' take it to the head like a toupee. My homie Vine walked in yelling Duke. FaceTiming with a freak like Boosie. Her booty be.
Spot, the only location for audio and visual podcasts, all of your favorite podcast shows in one location.
It's that time again. All right, y'all. It's that time again to have Kandy wrap it up.
So basically, Happy New Year's again. Happy New Year again was what I should say. 2001.
Oh, just flip the bad stuff around. Just flip it around. We're gonna do that.
Yelling out graduation dates.
I did graduate in 2001, but just flip it around. We ain't doing this takeover. I'm sorry. Nope. Go.
So basically, Happy New Year to everybody. We hope that everything.
2021. I got it this time.
We hope that everyone's new year is prosperous. We hope that everything that you ever want to accomplish happens this year for you, if it did not happen for you last year.
Most definitely it will.
All of those peace, blessings, high vibrations, and good vibes.
And tranquility
and slumber sleeps.
Slumber sleeps?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever that means.
Everybody don't get enough rest.
Yeah, that's true.
Slumber sleeps.
That's very true.
Yeah, put your dream catcher above your bed.
I don't know about that. But...
yeah, and all that good stuff. Anywho, but just touching on everything, has this generation grown up and all of that good stuff. You know, we just basically want to say in regards to the topic of the show that we want to hear a lot of y'all feedback and what y'all think. You know, do you think
where can they go for the feedback?
Where can they go? imperfectlyperfectcouple.com or thecasterspot.com/
or you can go imperfectlyperfectcouple@gmail. And then
if you would like to respond,
or if you would like to send us a topic, Which, did we get any new ones?
No, we haven't gotten any new ones lately.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, send topics in, send questions in or whatnot. Most definitely, everything can be anonymous because we do respect privacy and all of that good stuff. She talking and laughing at me. Look, I talk a little differently, okay?
So, we would like to hear your feedback from the topic of the show today. And just everything that we talked about. Basically, boundaries. And respecting people's boundaries. And making sure you have that high regard for people. Just treat everybody how you would want to be treated. Just don't go grabbing at people's hair and doing all of that stuff, Ask first. Every culture is different. People have cultural backgrounds and boundaries that are set up for some things you can do for some people that you cannot do for everybody. So it's all about those boundaries and realizing that, everybody isn't as always perfect as they appear to be. So don't pass judgment just because of how someone may come off to you or how a couple or whatever,
Or don't think, or what I would like to add to that one is don't be afraid to, to step out there or to get started thinking that everything has to be perfect.
Right.
You start somewhere, and along your process, you will work out the kinks along the way. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you put on your clothes today, was it iron? You had to work out them wrinkles, didn't you? Well, I hope you did. All right.
Goofy. Alrighty, everyone. Have a good week, and we will check y'all out later.
Please like, share, follow, subscribe, comment.
All of that good stuff.
Do the nay-nay.
Click.
All right.
Do the nay-nay.